No matter how good things may seem, sometimes in life there is no choice but to say goodbye, and this is one of those times. This is the very last video. Alright, no, cut, no, we're not doing this. Doing what? You know what, don't be a dick. I don't know what you're talking about. This is the last video. Yeah, about volumetrics. April Fools! It's fucking January! In the last few videos, we've been covering volumetrics. We started by comparing it to the heavy metal style so we could break down the steps and understand what each step was doing and use that as some kind of basis. And then we covered light placements, highlights, shadows, and just a little bit of color theory. But now it's time for the last big piece of the puzzle before we send you off into that big bad world. Shapes. In miniature painting, there is going to be two main shapes that are repeated over and over again. A sphere and a cylinder. There are other shapes that come into play, but these will take up 99% of models. And breaking down sections of those models will generally leave you with one or the other of those shapes, and actually sometimes a combination of the two.
Let's play a little find the shape on the Space Marine. Even though they're a little elongated, the kneecaps are definitely spherical, at least when it comes to ideas of shading and highlighting. These little lines going across the arms and all the sections of the legs, that's where our cylinders come in. But then we have slightly trickier shapes like the torso. If you want to put the torso and the abdomen together, they are somewhat of a cylinder, even though it is also a little bit squishy like a bowl. The helmet and the shoulder pads are a combination of a sphere and a cylinder.
Now that we know the shapes and where to find them, let's look at what to do with them.
If you've caught this channel before, you've probably seen this diagram, and yes, I do generally use these for colors. But I also make them in a way that shows you the volumetric highlight placement.
Shading a circle to render it 3D is something just about everyone has done, and that's because it's a foundation in art. Understanding shapes is not exclusive to miniature painting. But weirdly, miniature painting is the only art medium where the community pushes this as an advanced idea.
Alright, let's get into some actual application. We're going to imagine our light source as above and slightly in front, and this is very helpful information. Because while we are, yes, following the volumes that the shape themselves are producing, we also have to follow this light source so everything has a constant. Because our highlights are basically going to be pointing in the direction of the light source. And now that we know which way to face the highlights, we're basically just going to copy that same diagram. Real quick, in between every layer, if you haven't caught this channel before, we do something called basic bitch blending, which is just a half step. So every time we add a color and then jump into the next layer, we're going to go backwards and mix a 50-50 mix, which is just somewhere between those two colors and kind of blur out that transition. But this is not going to be a blending video. I just thought I'd throw that in there in case you hadn't seen the rest of the series. As much as we talk about highlights and where to point them or direct them towards, the shadow is basically the complete opposite. A highlight will go on one side and then the shadow will go on the other. Remember, this is all stripped back to absolute basics and foundations. There are definitely times and reasons where highlights and shadows interact more in the same space, but we want to keep this one as simple as possible.
That takes care of spheres, let's do some cylinders. Now, these can be pretty simple to find, or they can be a little bit deceiving. The easy ones are arms, legs, and the abdomen. The easy ones are the arms, legs, and abdomen. And even if they do start to slightly taper in, very rarely are they going to come to a hard point, so we're going to treat them the same way as we would a cylinder. Now, some of the harder ones can start arguments. Because honestly, we should be treating a face as a cylinder. The head is usually only round on top. The face itself is a lot longer, and in its bare basic form without any features, does curve around.
This is the first of two diagrams for cylinders, and yes, it's for colors, but here's how we use the vertical.
Vertically, the highlight will come towards the light source, and in this case, kind of pointing towards us. So that's what we'll do first.
You may have noticed that I start off with the same steps every single time, and that's just to keep it as simple as possible. So yeah, I'm starting off with another base layer of Terrestrial Titan. This is going to be our shadow tone, so it's a lot easier if we start with full coverage on that. Now, stepping up into the Triumphant Navy, which is our mid-tone, we start to look at how to direct the color towards the light source. And yes, even though we talk about the highlights a lot, the mid-tone is where that starts. If you're unsure about the placement, we do have another video. Pachow. As we start building our midtones and highlights, here is where the shapes actually play a fairly integral part as well, because we're going to be looking at painting this topographically. And even though this is vertical instead of horizontal, or from ground up, we're still going to be using the same idea of the light is coming towards us, or the highlights are coming towards us. Which means, in a topographical sense, the further back it is, the darker it's going to be, and then the closer it physically gets toward us, that is where our highlight placement is going to sit. Which is why it looks like everything is fading and pulling into the same point. And I can't stress this enough by saying it again, that point that everything is pulling into is directed towards the light source. Super important.
As I mentioned before, there is another way to highlight a cylinder, and that depends on its orientation. So now we're going to cover horizontally, or in your case, horizontally.
Take a good look at the vertical diagram and soak it in, because we're flipping it. And this means that our physical top and bottom has changed. And this is important because it means our highlights are also going to change. With the vertical cylinder, everything was pulling into a point and pointing at the light source. And while the same is true with the horizontal version of this shape, topographically, this point has kind of changed. With something like this, the physical peak of the shape where we're going to highlight has changed, and now that highlight is going to run all the way down the shape.
These were pretty easy to identify, but what happens when one fine day you get a wolf and a purr, and there's a shape that isn't quite as easy to define? Typically, even these shapes broken down to the most simple form are either a sphere or a cylinder. They're just a little warped. And just because there's some kind of weird light bouncing cat dog, it doesn't mean that we treat them any differently.
Torsos are definitely one of those odd shapes where if you combine the abdomen, it becomes a cylinder. And yes, it does taper a little bit, we're going to ignore that. But if you want to look at the chest plate specifically, it is a cylinder, but it also curves onto the top and bottom, so it's also kind of a squish sphere. And because we're combining those shapes together, we're also going to combine the ideas behind each shape into our highlighting. From midtone to shadow tone, I'm going to treat it like a cylinder, like a vertical cylinder, so everything is going to come directly into a point. But when we come to the highlighting itself, I'm going to treat it as a combination. So yes, we are following that same light as a cylinder, but it is going up a little further and curving around like we would with a sphere. Which means the actual highlight placement, which is our lightest and brightest color, is going a little further towards the top.
Alright, let's be honest, the shape that most people are more likely to have a problem with is the fucking shoulder pads. And that's because it's kind of a combination of both shapes.
And again, because it's a combination of both shapes, we're going to combine the idea behind highlighting each of them. Because of this weird bell end shape, we're going to treat it the exact same way. The top is basically the top half of a sphere, so we're going to be highlighting in that little ball, but then following the highlight down again towards the cylinder's direction. The topographical idea is pretty handy because we're going to be aiming towards the physical peak.
To be honest, I probably should have done this the other way around because it's kind of easier, but you'll still get the idea. The helmet is essentially the same shape. It's rounded on top, and then because we have a face, it is coming down. The only difference is it's not quite as flat and plain as the shoulder pad, and we kind of luck out there because we get a little bit more detail to actually play with volumetrics, and that does make it easier.
This is where it should start to hit home that we're only playing with two different shapes or a combination. Because just like the shoulder pad, we're going to do the same thing. The very top of the head is that curved bell shape, and we're going to treat it like a sphere while coming down towards the face, which is turning into a cylinder. The bright side is all the details and highlights actually kind of come towards the face and all of those features that comes on it. Cheekbones, bridge of the nose, those kind of things.
Alright, I know a lot of you have been insistent on a fiston, especially your mother, but there was no way that we were going to get through a crimson fist tutorial without a red recipe. Let's do that.
For this part, I'm going to let you pick out the shapes by yourself. Have a look at the remaining sections and try and figure out which part would be which shape or what combination of shapes. While you do that, I'm just going to run you through the color list for this. The base coat is Terrestrial Titan because purple is dope and dope things happen when you use purple. That's going to be on my headstone. The midtone, however, is a little bit deceptive. Red can be kind of an annoying color to highlight, and you generally have to move into an orange or a pink and then it feels orange or pink. So to avoid this, I'm not using an actual midtone, I'm using a transition color. That one is Blanched Berry. This is more to reinforce the shadows before we come in with Flag Red and basically pick out all the highlights just a little bit further out than we typically would. This way it still feels red.
Alright, real quick, because I hate doing ads, just look at the description. There is Army Painter, in-games, a Patreon, use code Heresy5, yap yap yap, shill, let's go.
I'm not too concerned with this not being completely 100% beautifully blended. That wasn't the intention. And honestly, if this is what you're going to use for your tabletop standard, I probably wouldn't bother going any further either. Also, just paint the back the same as the front, don't make it complicated. Hopefully you've taken something away from this video and have a better understanding of shape and shadow. And as always, a massive thank you to In-Games, the Army Painter, and the best Patreon members in the world. Big love, you filthy heretics.